Oakland, and the ball would be in the hands of Tom Brady. Don't know why we ever think it won't.
It's time for the home team on the TAN Talk Radio Network. The home team is brought to you in part by Iceman Development, LLC, a pioneer in ice rink development. By the Palm Pavilion, 10 Bay Esplanade on Clearwater Beach. By the Original Mattress Factory, with 3 Tampa Bay locations. By Mahoney's Auto Repair, 4040 Fifth Avenue North in St. Petersburg. And now, here he is, the arena voice of the Tampa Bay Lightning and Orlando Magic, and the press box voice of the Tampa Bay Buccaneers, Paul Porter.
Thank you very much, Brother Pat, and welcome to the home team. Glad to have you with us on a beautiful Saturday morning and a historic Saturday in Tampa Bay. We'll get to that in just a bit. We'll tell you exactly why it is historic, and we'll get into a lot of different things today. I want to say hello to John and Hank and Donald, all watching on Facebook Live. Nick as well, tuned in on Facebook Live. Glad to have all of you with us, and lots to get to today. I do want to start out with a rather serious matter, and that is, as you know, a week ago yesterday, our good friend and longtime sponsor, Elsie Mahoney, passed away at Tampa General Hospital. And it's been a tough week for his wife, Lori, and his daughters, Faith and Hope. But something did come out of it this week that was, in my opinion, very promising. They are doing their very best to keep the shop open, Mahoney's Auto at 4040 54th Avenue North. The reason they're doing that is because they felt as though it was really part of his legacy, that it had a huge part in his heart to help people by repairing their cars at reasonable prices and keeping the shop open. So to that end, this is what I'm asking for. This is what they need. And if you fit this category, or you know someone that does, they are looking for an entry-level light mechanic. And what that means is they're looking for someone that can do oil changes, that can do battery changes, that can do tire rotations, tire repair. Nothing overwhelming, just some basic things. And the 2 mechanics that are there, one of them is going to move into a management position and kind of oversee the office and still do some mechanical work. And then the other one is going to remain there. And they need one more to allow him to, one mechanic to move into the management area. So if you are, or you know, and it's a pretty good paying job. Now, the pay depends on your experience, but if you are looking for work, or you know someone that is a mechanic, or that can at least do the light mechanical work, that is looking for a job, here's what you need to do. Contact Terry at Mahoney's Auto. The number is 727-527-7773. 727-527-7773. Or stop by and see Terry at 4040 54th Avenue North in St. Petersburg. So we're trying to get this word out as best we can. I'm not a mechanic. Jason, you're not a mechanic. No. Matt is not a mechanic.
I call AAA when there's a problem.
Too. Me too. But we know that we reach people that are mechanically inclined and that maybe could fill this position. They're looking for somebody that's even willing to learn on the job. Yeah. So if you don't know a lot of mechanical things, but you can do the basic oil change, tire change, that sort of thing, they would love to hear from you. And again, it's 727-527-7773.
And that would be a great, for any mechanic, it'd be working for great people at a great place. And I'm so glad to hear that they're keeping it open.
Absolutely. So I hope there's somebody out there that can fill that role. Donald says if I was younger, I'd apply. I've been doing car repairs for almost 50 years.
Wow.
Actually, I thought Donald might apply because he's a kind of a jack of all trades.
Yes.
Anyway.
Building stuff at his house.
Yeah, for sure. But I want to get that announcement out there. And actually, the reason that I'm here today, I was scheduled to be off today, but I was honored by Lori to be asked to speak at Elsie's Celebration of Life next Saturday. So that's why I am here today and won't be here next Saturday. It'll be you and Marshall, Jason, next Saturday, and it'll really be the kickoff of college football. So
that's right.
You'll have plenty to talk about with college football getting started, and the Bucks just a week away from their start of their regular season. So, but actually, college football today, right?
There's a handful of games. The big one being Florida State and Georgia Tech kicking off at noon. That's from Ireland. And there's a few others. I think later tonight there's SMU and Nevada. I think Hawaii plays usually late their first game. A couple of other games.
I think Florida A&M is playing tonight.
Yeah. The FCS or formerly Division I AA. Some of those games are starting this weekend. So this is kind of the official start. It was named Week 0 a couple years ago by some people. So it's Week 0 this week, but most of the games will start next week.
If you're going out for a full course meal tonight and today is the appetizer.
Yes,
basically.
Good way to put it.
And then you'll have the main course starting next week. So that gets underway at noon today from Dublin, Ireland, as Florida State goes up against Georgia Tech. Florida State should win this one. Right?
They should, yes. They're ranked number 10 in the nation. Of course, last year they were, they had an undefeated regular season. They got a new quarterback, the transfer, DJ Uiagalelei. One of those great names. Yeah. He started his career at Clemson. Last year he had transferred to Oregon State, and now he transfers to Florida State. This is his third different school he's playing for. But
what is his name again?
DJ Uiagalelei.
There's medicine for that.
I'm sure there is.
But anyway,
it's a good name.
we wish them all the best. Tonight is a historic night in Tampa Bay. And we're going to have a guest on later on today, coming up at 10:45. But for the first time ever, there are two professional soccer games going on at the same time. Men's with the Tampa Bay Rowdies and women's with the Tampa Bay Sun.
Very nice.
The Sun playing at Blake High School right on the river there in downtown Tampa. And, of course, the Rowdies playing at Al Lang Stadium in St. Petersburg. And I'd be curious to see which one draws better. The Rowdies are, I believe it's like a playoff game for them, or it's a high level game. But the Sun playing their second home game in their history, and I think a lot of people out of curiosity are coming out to see the revamped stadium and all that at Blake High School.
Yeah, that's exciting, and of course the Rowdies have a long history. They brought that team back after back in the 70s and 80s when they were playing, but that's exciting though, and again, soccer has really grown in the United States. It's become a big deal. Obviously, worldwide, that is the sport, and it's not even close. That's the most popular sport in the world, I think, by a long shot. But it just always seemed to be running behind in the United States. But that's changing. You've got, I think, a lot more.
Kids are playing soccer.
Kids are playing soccer, and they're also following it. They're watching it when it comes on TV. And not just the leagues in the United States, but the Premier Leagues. The World Leagues. Around the world, looking at watching some of the best players. Obviously, Lionel Messi coming to the Miami soccer club. I mean, that's a big deal. And soccer is certainly on the rise, but that's exciting. That's exciting to see that in the area, and hopefully people will go out and support it.
I actually am going to the Tampa Bay Sun game tonight.
Okay,
I'm going to watch the women's soccer at Blake High School. A good friend of mine, and also he's a friend of the program, DJ Bolt. he does the music for the Tampa Bay Sun, and he was kind enough to get me a couple of tickets for the game tonight. Or actually, I got to quit saying game; it's match.
Right.
The match tonight at 7:00, and that'll be Riverfront Stadium. They've renamed it right there on the shores of the Hillsborough River. That they'll be playing.
Should be exciting.
Anyway, some other things to talk about. Bucks last night looked decent. One drive for Baker Mayfield, and he managed to hit Godwin with a pass, and he was able to hit some of his principal receivers.
Jalen McMillan, the rookie wide receiver out of Washington, he had a great catch on the sideline to get him in scoring position.
And they look good. I would have liked to seen Baker Mayfield have one more drive. I mean, he went all the way down the field, got the touchdown on the opening drive.
I think had they not done as well that first drive, you would have seen that. Usually that's how the first drive sometimes dictates how long the starters will stay in. The fact that they moved right down the field, looked sharp, looked solid, got the touchdown, I think you figure, okay, that's enough. We're not going to risk anything else after that.
So now it's some time before the season opener, which will be a week. Actually 2 weeks from tomorrow, and the 53-man roster will be intact by then. Some tough decisions for Todd Bowles and the coaching staff as to who they're going to keep, who's going to be on the practice squad, and who they're just going to have to release and designate for assignment.
That's right. But, I really like the Bucks, what they've done. Their draft class has been very good in recent years. They've got a lot of good, talented young players. They've got a nice mix of veteran players and young players. And the fact that they re-signed the majority of their veterans, brought back Baker Mayfield, brought back Mike Evans, Antoine Winfield, Tristan Wirfs, even the kicker, Chase McLaughlin. You have a nice contract. And the season he had was very, very deserving of that. You need to have a mixture of the experience and the youth, I think, to be truly successful. And I think that the Bucks have that. If they can stay healthy, which that's the one thing you can never predict, the injuries. But if they stay healthy, to me, I don't see there's any reason why the Bucks shouldn't be able to compete for the Super Bowl. Because when you think about what they did last year, they were a playoff team. They won a playoff game in blowout over Philadelphia. Their loss in the playoffs was to a very good Detroit team by one score, by one possession. Okay, they competed in that game on the road, and Detroit nearly made it to the Super Bowl. So there's no reason why you figure the Bucks, if they did that last year,
mix,
they could take the next step, and I think they can be a Super Bowl contender.
Well, I would agree. They can certainly contend to trying to win a fourth straight division title this year. So we'll see if they're able to accomplish that. Tough night for the Rays last night. They lose on a walk-off grand slam home run by none other than Mr. Ohtani.
Yep.
And bases loaded. You couldn't walk him because that would bring in the winning run anyway. And it shows why he is the superstar he is.
Yeah.
And the Dodgers come away with a 7-3 win. Heard an interview yesterday with Eric Neander. And he was just kind of, they had asked him, is it time to just start looking at 2025 and seeing what you have? And he kind of said, yeah, but let's give it one more weekend. Let's give it one more shot. And I think by the end of this road trip, that'll determine whether they're going to really go for it.
They already started doing that when they traded away so many of their key players. I mean, they were in playoff contention. They were playing their best baseball of the season. We're over 500. I think they had gotten within maybe 3.5 or 4 games of the final wild card spot when they made those trades. So I think once they did that, I think that was pretty much looking towards next year. And I give them a lot of credit, despite all that. The fact that they're at 500 right now, when this whole season they've been playing without their top 3 pitchers who've been recovering from the Tommy John surgery. They're playing in a very tough tough division, not to mention a very tough American League. There are a lot of good teams all throughout the American League this year.
Yeah, the Central Division has really showed up.
And the fact that they, again, traded away so many of their key players, for them to still be right at 500 right now, I think is quite remarkable.
Mm-hmm. Now, and I heard a comment about that. The Rays have never been more than 3 games over 500 this year, and they've never been less than 5 games under 500.
Yeah.
They've been in that range, that 8-game range, the entire year since late March.
The ultimate question for everyone is going to come down to when they finally move into this new stadium. Is their policy going to change? Are they going to start paying and keeping their players to keep the teams together? Okay, because if they're not going to do that, then frankly, I think they're going to go the way of the Miami Marlins, where the Marlins got a new stadium, no one goes because they figure the team is not truly committed to winning.
And you never know what's on Stu Sternberg's mind. He may be thinking, well, once we play a year or two in this new stadium, it'd be time to sell. And, sell it with a new stadium to the new buyer, whoever that may be.
And a lot of people would rejoice, I think, in this area for that.
Yeah.
To get someone who's going to be committed to winning. Not winning championships, because the Rays have won. To their credit, their scouting has brought in the right players to make the playoffs. But can you win a championship doing things their way? It has to be very difficult to do that.
Yeah.
So that's the key.
Before we hit our first break, let's do this. Lee is standing by from Canada calling us, and I want to mention, unfortunately, I'm not going to be here next Saturday, but next Saturday will be our 1-year anniversary here on the TAN Talk Radio Network. So it was kind of crazy this time last year when we were scrambling to
we did kind of like a test show. I think like the first week, maybe that was this week last year.
I think so.
That was the kind of the test show, and then the following week we officially started. So
So thanks to Big Ed and Lola and all the people here at the TAN Talk Radio Network for welcoming us, and happy anniversary to you, Matt. You've been doing the show now for a full year, and
it still blows my mind to get to work with you guys every week. It's incredible.
Well, it's good to be here. Let's do this. Let's go to Lee, who's standing by in Canada. Hello, Lee.
Good morning, everybody. How are you?
Doing good, thank you, Lee.
31 days from today, 1 month, first home preseason game for the Lightning.
Okay. I hadn't counted the exact date, but
good to know.
That sounds accurate.
Yep. Yes, 31 days.
Okay.
And I'm looking forward to hockey season. Looking forward to first football game today at noon over in Ireland. Did you see that Nick Maletti died this week? Talking about Cleveland.
Yeah, I did. Nick Maletti passed away. He was the first ever owner of the Cleveland Cavaliers.
Oh, wow.
They started in 1970, and he was the first ever owner. And he was the one that really was the driving force behind the Richfield Coliseum. He thought that Cleveland and Akron were going to grow together and come together right there at the Richfield location. Unfortunately, it didn't happen.
No, but he was a seer, so I'm very glad. So the Lightning, they're ready to. What's training camp start in a couple of weeks?
Yeah, it's I don't know the exact date, but I believe it is like around the 13th or 14th of September.
September. They still train in Brandon?
Yes.
Or have they moved up to?
No, they're still in Brandon. They're still in Brandon.
Oh, okay.
It's going to be interesting. It's going to be different.
My Guardians are in free fall. Had an 8-game lead. Now they're down to 1 over Kansas City.
Yeah. They have really struggled, and it looked as though they were competing for the best record in the American League, and at one time they were the best record in all of baseball, and they have really struggled.
Of course, Kansas City and Minnesota are both right there too.
Yeah.
That's a strong division, the AL Central.
Yeah, 2 of the wild card teams likely coming from there.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, so it's very good. So the Buccaneers start at home. Is their first game at home?
Against Washington.
Washington Commanders, 2 weeks from tomorrow.
Okay, very good. All right. Well, I wanted to check in and say it's hockey. It's hockey 365 up here in Canada, but I'm glad it's going to be that way in Tampa soon.
Absolutely.
What's the weather? What's the weather up there, Lee?
What's that?
How's the
Kind
weather?
of breaking up.
How's the weather up there?
The weather? It's sunny and 80 today, so it's good.
All right.
Good.
Very nice. Well, it won't be that way for long.
No, it's not going to be that way for long. No, it goes into the 50s at night, so it's nice and cool. So
Yeah.
you still have to put a blanket on. You have to put a blanket on in the evening.
All right. Well, Lee, it's good to hear from you. Thank you so much for checking in with us today.
All right. We'll check in a couple of weeks. Have a good week off next week, too.
All right. Thanks so much. Appreciate
Thanks, Lee.
that.
Take care.
Yeah, absolutely. And, now we have the defending Stanley Cup champions here in the state of Florida and the 3-time Stanley Cup champion, Tampa Bay Lightning.
That's right.
That will make for a very good rivalry.
It just adds to the rivalry. It was already a great rivalry. Now it just got that much bigger with that. So that's going to be exciting.
Yeah, absolutely.
And don't you know, well, like Lee said, from Canada where it's always hockey, don't you know they have to be rolling their eyes to have the Stanley Cup champion, the two Florida teams have dominated.
Yeah.
And recently.
And the Eastern Conference title has gone through the state of Florida the last 5 years.
Yeah.
And my goodness, I mean, to think what they initially said when the Lightning first came in the league and then the Panthers came in just a year after that. Are you kidding? What a joke. That, and the
hockey
other.
in Florida will never work.
Now we see.
And 3 of the last 4 Stanley Cups have gone to the state of Florida.
That's right. Yeah.
And they were actually playing for the 4th one, but the Lightning lost to Colorado. So, but 3 of the last 4, and all the last 4 years, they've had the Stanley Cup playoffs in the state of Florida. We need to hit a break. We're overdue for that. Join us on the phone line, 727 441-3000, 727-441-3000. I've been giving out Mahoney's number so much the past week. I'm already programmed to do that. 727-441-3000. More of the home team coming up here on the TAN Talk Radio Network. AM 1340 and 1350, FM 106.1, 102.3, and Facebook
Live.
This is the TAN Talk Radio Network.
When you talk about ice rink development in West Central Florida, one name stands alone: Iceman Development, LLC. Gordy Zimmerman, president and founder of Iceman Development, has played an integral part in the construction of the Ice Sports Forum in Brandon, the training home of the 3-time Stanley Cup champion Tampa Bay Lightning, and the Advent Health Center Ice Complex, a multi-million-dollar facility boasting 150,000 square feet. Ranked the top indoor ice rink facility by both the USA Today and Yelp. Iceman Development is currently involved in creating yet another outstanding ice rink facility in Trinity and Pasco County. Iceman's company mission is to build community projects that impact the area both in quality of life and economic growth. For more information, visit icemandevelopment.com. That's Iceman with 2 N's, development.com.
Folks, let me tell you about a gem of a restaurant in Carrollwood. It's Hank's Place, where you'll find some of the best barbecue, catfish, wings, sausage, gator, shrimp, and a whole lot more. Their meats are dry rubbed and slowly smoked. All of your favorite sides, too, from baked beans to collard greens to mac and cheese to onion rings. Are you hungry yet? Discover why Hank's Place at 8546 North Dale Maybury, just 100 yards north of Waters Avenue, is a place that locals have known about for years. Hey, would a guy like me lie to you about food? Hank's Place, a place to hang your hat and lick your fingers.
Your number one home team fans, Auto Owners Insurance and Vermost Insurance Agency is a winning combination. We'll work with you to ensure your home, auto, business, and life to keep everything you value safe, sound, and secure. Auto Owners Insurance, the no-problem people. Visit the Vermost Insurance Agency in Tampa Bay today at vermost.com. That's vermost.com.
Hundreds of sets of gently used golf clubs is what you'll find at T&D Golf Stores. Conveniently located at 4205 West Waters Avenue, half a mile west of Dale Mabry, T&D has the best repair facility with the largest selection of grips in stock. You'll find a wide variety of new and used golf balls, shoes, gloves, and accessories. Family owned and operated, open Monday through Saturday from 9 a.m. to 6 p.m. T&D Golf at 4205 West Waters Avenue, a half mile west of Dale Mabry.
Sooner or later, you're going to need a plumber. It's just a fact of life. Want somebody honest and reliable? The plumber I use is the Bearded Plumber. I've known Thomas since his high school days and now is an established plumber who offers 24-hour-a-day full service because plumbing emergencies don't wait. Keep this number handy. You know you're going to need it. It's 866-882-3273. The Bearded Plumber, 866-882-3273.
Life Builders Christian Counseling Center brings hurting people to wholeness in Christ. Life Builders is a professional counseling center with multiple counselors and locations in Brandon and Tampa. They offer in-person, Zoom, and group sessions, counseling individuals, married couples, children and adolescents, and families. Some of our licensed counselors take most insurances. Call 813-438-5949 or visit lifebuilderscounseling.org. Life Builders can help. 813-438-5949 and at lifebuilderscounseling.org.
Get ready for more Taps and Tacos night at Baycare Ballpark. On Thursdays, Clearwater Threshers fans can enjoy the delicious combo of Moe's Southwest Grill and half-price drafts from local breweries. All beverages are 50% off for Threshers Thursday games, including sodas, water, and beers from local breweries like Crooked Thumb, Coppertail, and Escape. Grab your Moe's and wash it down with a half-price drink on Thursdays at Threshers games. Check out threshersbaseball.com for schedule and tickets. Hi, everyone. I'm Paul Porter, voice of the Lightning and host of the Home Team Sports Radio Show. I'm here to tell you about our educational home team, Cambridge Christian School. No longer Tampa Bay's best-kept secret, CCS is the perfect blend of academic rigor and a biblical worldview foundation, serving families for over 60 years. Come see why we are the #1 rated Christian school in Tampa and visit us at ccslancers.com.
This is the Tan Talk Radio Network.
Welcome back to the home team. Glad to have you with us. And again, I want to remind you that the good people at Mahoney's Auto, they're doing their best to keep the shop open in honor of Elsie Mahoney, who passed away a week ago last night. And if you know of a mechanic, if you know of someone that is mechanically able, can do tire changes and do battery changes and repair tires and oil changes, they're looking for someone like that at Mahoney's Auto. Give Terry a call at 727-527-7773. 4040 54th Avenue North in St. Petersburg is where they're located, and pay is based on experience, but you can be rest assured you'll have a very good position there, a steady job, and certainly good people to work for. And good people that many people take their cars there to Mahoney's Auto. So if you can help them and are looking for a job, call Terry or stop by and see him. 727-527-7773. Let's go back to the phone lines. John is with us next. Hello, John. You're on the home team.
Good morning, Paul and Jason. How are you?
Morning, John.
Good to hear from you.
Good to talk to you.
Excellent. I just wanted to tell you that I'm going to the Miami Gators game next week.
Fantastic.
6:30 start, yeah.
Oh, that's going to be great. We'll have a great time. That's very exciting. Nothing like being at a big-time college football game. It really isn't. I mean, to me, the atmosphere there, it's so much more exciting than the pros.
And Matt points out that we will have football from now through February 9th, every weekend through February 9th.
Yeah, I remember all the Orange Bowl games I used to go to. Unbelievable atmosphere.
Yes.
You know.
Yeah, those were in a rough area of town too, at the Orange Bowl, wasn't it, in Miami?
Yeah. It was just such a great joy to watch football there. I mean, it was just like it was no other feeling. It was so close to field.
Mhm.
Yeah.
You know, it was like, I don't know why they tore it down. You know, it's just.
Well, yeah, like anything else, they go for the newer stadiums nowadays, and of course, the Dolphins used to play there too.
Yeah.
And of course, then when the Dolphins moved into which now it's no longer Joe Robbie Stadium, but then the Hurricanes eventually followed. But yeah, no, there's something about the old Orange Bowl. That's one of those historic places that always lives in the lore of sports history.
Yes, Joe Namath played there.
Yeah.
Absolutely.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Absolutely.
Yeah,
Super Bowl III. Yeah, and many other Super Bowls were there.
Yeah, absolutely.
What was the score of that game, Jason?
16-7. Jets over the Colts.
Okay. All right. Just making sure you're still sharp.
Still got it.
That's right. 16-7,
Bucks.
right?
Uh-huh.
Bucks looked decent last night, John.
Yes. That first drive, the Baker with the receivers and
Rashad White looked very strong.
Yeah.
I have to tell you,
Offensive line.
I was there last night, and right at sunset, which was around 8 o'clock, 8:15 or so, it looked like the end of the world.
Yeah.
I mean, it was the strangest looking.
The sky does funny.
Heavy cloud cover and
there's
orange looking.
We were driving down years ago from Key West, me and my mom, and on the way back with the storms and the clouds, it almost reminded me of like the UFOs coming out of the clouds. Like in the movie Close Encounters of the Third Kind, something was ready to come out of the clouds. It looked like that. It's amazing what Mother Nature can do sometimes.
Yeah.
Did we have a contest for the Bucks last week?
We did have one for the Jacksonville game, and Donald from Lutz won that contest.
Oh,
and
nice.
we did not have one for last night's game, but I've got it here.
Okay.
Donald was 11 points off. Mike was 13 points off, and the Rubber Cement Man was 20 points off. That's how it shook out.
Sure. Okay. Yeah, I don't recall picking a number for that game. Yeah.
Yeah, no, you weren't in that one, but
Okay.
we're going to have one, 2 weeks from today. It'll be the opener, Eve, with the Bucks taking on the Commanders.
Yeah.
Washington Commanders, and you may have a contest next week with Florida and Miami.
Yeah, I think I'm going to do the Florida Miami game next week. So that's because that's the big in-state rivalry game, and so that's going to. But I know, John, you're going to have a good time there. That's going to be. Where is the game? Is it in Miami?
In Gainesville.
Oh, that's in Gainesville. Okay, at Florida Field. Good. Well, that's going to be very exciting. And there's a lot. And let me tell you, there's a ton of pressure on both coaches. That's critical to win this game. Billy Napier especially, and of course Mario Cristobal with Miami. If either one of them gets off to a bad start, I think they could be gone very soon in the season.
Yeah, I think especially in Florida. Yeah,
big time. And they have a tough schedule. I mean, obviously they play in the SEC alone, but with Miami and other games too, it's not going to be easy.
Good to see DJ Bolt is joining us on Facebook Live, and he will be supplying all the music for tonight's game between the Tampa Bay Sun and Washington D.C. And thank you, DJ Bolt, for getting me a couple of tickets for the game. One quick question for DJ Bolt, who's listening online. Do they sell popcorn at the women's soccer game tonight? I can't go to a sporting event without having some popcorn.
Really?
I mean, that's just something I really look forward to. So
all right.
Perhaps
I
DJ Bolt
I always thought it was the hot dog that was the key for you, but I guess
not as much.
Not
anymore.
as much as popcorn. Okay,
I'm more into the popcorn.
Okay,
but, we'll see. But maybe DJ Bolt can supply us with that information.
Talking about hot dogs, I went to Sam's Club the other day, and they still have $1.50 for a jumbo hot dog and a drink.
Wow.
Unbelievable.
$1.50. That is good.
Yeah.
That is fantastic.
Yeah.
I know. Yeah.
Absolutely. Absolutely. All right. Well, John, always good to hear from you. Thanks so much.
Yeah, and have fun of that game. That's going to be exciting.
Oh, I will.
Yes.
I will, Jason.
Excellent.
Have a great weekend,
All right,
guys.
All right. Thank you, John.
Bye.
We are going to hit a break. Steve Carney's going to join us on the other side as he'll be talking some Rays baseball. And he's actually found he's somebody that rivals me as far as number of jobs. Steve Carney now is working for the NFL in addition to Major League Baseball. And he was there last night, and we'll get his thoughts on the Bucs game and the Rays and a whole lot more.
A busy man.
Indeed. Stay with us. More of the home team coming up on the Tan Talk Radio Network, AM 1340 and 1350, FM 106.1, 102.3, and of course, Facebook
Live.
This is the Tan Talk Radio Network.
There's no place like this place anywhere near this place, so this must be the place. That's what they've been saying about the Palm Pavilion since 1926. The Palm Pavilion on the north end of the sparkling beach is a Clearwater beach landmark. Situated directly on the beach overlooking the Gulf of Mexico, the Palm Pavilion is the place to order cool tropical drinks and watch spectacular sunsets. Tempt your taste buds with perfect pasta, sizzling steaks, chicken or seafood wraps, shrimp and crab chowder. Come for a day or stay for the night. A casual atmosphere featuring live entertainment on the deck. The Palm Pavilion Inn and Beachside Grill and Bar on sparkling Clearwater Beach. Visit them on the web at palmpavilion.com, or better yet, visit in person, 10 Bay Esplanade on the north end of Clearwater Beach. The Palm Pavilion Inn and Beachside Grill.
This is Paul Porter. For the past 12 years, we've not endorsed an air conditioning company on the home team. Until now, I'm happy to tell you about the family-owned and operated air conditioning company, Action Air Conditioning. David Russell and his family run their business with three principles in mind: honesty, integrity, and reliability. They've been in business since 1988. They service the entire home team listing area. From service to AC checkups to a whole new system, Action Air Conditioning is the AC company for you. Why do I speak so highly of Action Air Conditioning? I've used them many times at multiple properties, and I've been completely satisfied every time. Visit them on the web at actionairconditioning.com. That's actionairconditioning.com. Or you can call them at 813-935-6644. If you're in need of an air conditioning company, take it from me. Action Air is your company. 813-935-6644. 813-935-6644. actionairconditioning.com. One of the questions I'm often asked is, how do you do it? With my busy schedule of working for the Lightning, Magic, Buccaneers, and the home team, I need to be in very good health. One person I have to thank for keeping me in good health for years is Dr. Troy Stirk of Stirk Family Medicine. He's helped me keep my blood pressure in check, my heart running smoothly, and an overall healthy feeling that is confirmed by my lab results. If you're looking for a good family physician, I heartily recommend Dr. Troy Stirk at Stirk Family Medicine. You can reach his office at 813-264-7922. That's 813-264-7922. I'll tell you, Dr. Stirk is fantastic, and I'm sure you'll feel the same way if you become one of his patients. So now that you know my secret to staying healthy with a busy schedule, it's your turn. Call Dr. Troy Stirk at Stirk Family Medicine, 813-264-7922. This is Paul Porter. You know, with the schedule I keep working for the Lightning, Magic, and Buccaneers, a good night's sleep is a must for me. That's why I'm happy to tell you about the Original Mattress Factory. Their mattresses are hand-built right here in Tampa Bay with the highest quality at a very reasonable price. They aren't like these other mattress companies that'll jack their prices up every holiday and then do a so-called super discount during their so-called sale. You actually end up paying more than what the mattress is worth. The secret is, with OMF, you're getting factory direct pricing and eliminating the middleman retailer. There's no high-pressure salespeople either. OMF is employee-owned, and they make it all about you. Double-sided mattresses, and they even email you when it's time to flip your mattress. Stop by their factory on Almerton Road in Clearwater and see for yourself, or visit one of their stores in Tampa or Brandon. There's nothing like a good night's sleep, and you'll get it with the Original Mattress Factory, and you'll get it for less. The Original Mattress Factory. Did you know that Cambridge Christian School Athletic Department was honored with the Kerry McDonald Award as the 2A Athletic Program of the Year for the second consecutive year? The CCS Lancers have had 71 district championships, 21 regional championships, 5 state championships, and 37 Final Four teams. Over 200 of our student athletes have signed to play at the college level, and one has joined an NFL team. Visit us today at ccslancers.com.
In 1955, the law firm now known as Perenick, Caulfield, Averill, and Noyes made a decision. Instead of taking whatever cases came through their doors, they decided to focus specifically on personal injury. 64 years later, the law firm is one of Clearwater's longest-running personal injury firms. Available 24 hours a day with offices in Clearwater and throughout Tampa Bay, they're ready to put decades of experience to work for you if you or a loved one has been injured in a car accident or injured due to someone's negligence or recklessness. If you feel overwhelmed, uncertain, or unsure about your next steps after being involved in an accident or after a loved one sustained serious injuries due to someone else's negligence, call Perenick, Caulfield, Averill, and Noyes at 727-796-8282 or online at usalaw.com. That's 727-796-8282 or online at usalaw.com. Non-attorney spokesman.
This is the Tan Talk Radio Network.
Welcome back to the home team. Glad to have you with us in this busy Saturday, a historical Saturday, as we mentioned earlier, with both the men's and the women's soccer playing tonight. Tampa Bay Sun playing in Tampa, and the Tampa Bay Rowdies playing in St. Petersburg. And it's never happened where we've had two professional soccer games on the same night. And Rob Belke will be joining us next hour to talk a little bit more about that. And we're going to be getting to Don in Lutz in just a bit. But first, we are very happy to have with us Steve Carney, who is no longer just a baseball guy. He's now a football guy. He is now working for the National Football League. And Steve, congratulations on that.
Yeah, thanks, Paul. I get to see how the sausage is made from the aspect of data when it comes to the National Football League now.
Absolutely. And what does that consist of? You're putting in statistics basically throughout the game?
Yeah, basically what we're doing is we gather out all the statistical and play information and make sure that it is correct, accurate, and disseminated to the folks at large when it is.
Steve, I've looked at some of the things that they have stats for nowadays, and I often think to myself, boy, these are people with a little too much time on their hands or something. But that,
no, wait a minute, Jason. But I'm
saying that is very, very tedious work. Yeah. We're looking at how many statistics.
So you're not saying Steve Carney has too much time on his hands?
Well, not with doing something like that. But I'm just saying, I guess the things I never knew that there were stats for that I find out there are. Interesting.
It's amazing that what computers can do to help you derive some of these statistics. That's for sure.
Yeah. I was wondering, Steve, putting all that input and all of the statistics and everything that you're working with, can you actually pay much attention to the game, or are you just constantly just looking for stats and all of that? Can you actually follow the flow of the game?
Well, amazingly enough, Paul, you can. And it certainly helps when some of the things that you're looking for are obviously penalty flags and challenges and things of that nature. But yeah, I mean, we've got to be able to look for, okay, is the running play? Is where's the running play going? Where's the pass play going? Yeah, I mean, it's amazing how closely you can follow the flow of the game.
We actually have 3 people connected with the home team that have very intricate jobs at the Raymond James Stadium. Steve, of course, doing his NFL stats, and yours truly doing the press box announcing. And also Scott Dowen with the original Mattress Factory is actually on the field doing the timeout coordinating, signaling to the referees when they need a timeout and when they can resume play. So the home team is very well connected with Raymond James Stadium and the Tampa Bay Buccaneers. But Steve, want to get your thoughts overall on the game last night. The Buccaneers look like they're ready for the regular season.
Yeah, I mean, you think about it. The starters only went one series last night, so you really can't say that you saw a whole lot. And plus, guys like Mike Evans didn't play last night, so they were certainly. I think that what you can say about last night was they got through the preseason without really a significant injury, and that's always a big plus because there have been plenty of teams out there so far this year that have been dealt the injury bug. So to see the Bucs without it was definitely a big plus.
Yeah, the Dolphins lost a number of players last night. I don't know how serious the injuries were, but a number of players had to be helped off the field. Yeah. If we can switch over to baseball, Steve, I don't know if you watched the end of the Rays game when you got home from the Bucs game last night, but what a disappointing ending. And Shohei Ohtani showing once again why he's the best player in baseball.
Yeah, and you think about it, Colin Poche only got one pitch to throw to him, and unfortunately grouped a slider into the strike zone. And Ohtani, being one of the better hitters in the league, and probably the best hitter in the National League this year, he didn't miss it. And it stinks that the Rays were up 3-0, and with two swings of the bat, the Dodgers are able to take the 7-3 win.
Yeah, I was listening to the game coming home from the Bucs game, and I heard that they were ahead 3-0. And I was actually on Sirius listening to the Dodger broadcast, and they were just saying, "This is amazing. You've got a team like the Rays that has been struggling to score runs, and the Dodgers that have been just pounding the baseball, and yet the Rays are leading 3-0."
But then the home run is the great equalizer.
Yeah.
And any swing of the bat, if you get a couple of guys on base, the fortunes change.
And the
in a
Rays did
hurry.
have a couple of home runs last night, but just wasn't enough. Steve, do you think we're at the point now where it's time to look at 2025? Or 7.5 out of, or 6.5 out of the final wild card spot with a couple of teams they would have to catch? Is it time to look to 2025?
I think that, for the most part, you would think that once the trade deadline went through, Paul, most people were thinking, okay, this is where you start looking at 2025. And now that Junior Caminero is up, obviously, he's going to be a big part of 2025. I certainly think that, while I don't think you're going to just roll over and play dead, I certainly think that most of the organization is going, okay, we're in a relatively good spot for 2025, knowing that we're going to get Shane McClanahan back, we're going to have Drew Rasmussen back as the starter, you'll have Fairbanks back as the closer at that point. I think that they feel like they're in a good spot for 2025 right now.
Steve, I know that I think the real big question a lot of people have, especially after the Rays made more of the trades of their key players this year, when they finally do move into the new stadium, is the philosophy and the way they do things going to change? Is Stu Sternberg going to start paying the players to keep the team together, or are we going to see more of the same? And obviously there's no way to know that, but I think that's what a lot of people are concerned about. We're getting this new stadium, and there's going to be excitement about that. But boy, if we keep doing things the Rays way and trade away our key players every couple of years to get more prospects, start the whole thing over again, I just don't know how long that excitement about the stadium is going to last.
Well, and I think that the one thing to remember about, people are like, oh, they're trading this guy and that guy away. They've kept guys around for a number of years. I mean, Evan Longoria was there for 10 seasons. Carl Crawford was there for 9. James Shields was there for 8. So it's not like they let guys go after like a season or two. And without some of these deals, you wouldn't get some of the pieces that, I think that people are excited about now. So, without trades, you don't have Junior Caminero. Without a trade, you don't have a piece like, you don't have Jose Siri. You don't have some of these pieces that are going to be exciting going forward. And there are going to be other pieces that are going to come up that people are going to want to see. People are going to want to see Carson Wentz. People are going to want to see Xavier Isaac. I think that at that point, you only have 26 spots, so somebody's going to have to move at that point.
I was listening to an interview with Eric Neander yesterday, and he was saying that there always are deals that you wish you would have made, that you're sorry that you made, and that you wonder what have been like if you would have made. And something I didn't realize, Steve, I'm sure you knew this, but the Rays actually went pretty hard after Aaron Judge. That they were trying to get him when he was a free agent. Judge himself said the Rays made a significant offer to him, which really surprised me that they would spend that kind of money on anybody, although it would be certainly a good acquisition.
Oh, absolutely. They went after Aaron Judge in free agency. They actually had a really significant offer to Freddie Freeman when he was in free agency. He decided to go with the Dodgers at that point. I think that most people think that Stu Sternberg is just a miserly curmudgeon in the vein of Ebenezer Scrooge, but it's not the case. But I think that he's going to be smart in how he spends his money, and more so, he's going to be kind of more cautious about it after what happened with Wander Franco. You don't want to be bit twice by that.
Yeah, good point. Good point. Well, Steve, what do you see for the rest of the Rays season? We've got a little over a month to go in the baseball regular season. Where do you see this team landing? Right around the 500 mark?
Yeah, I think so, Paul. I think this is probably going to be a team that finishes somewhere around 500, whether it's maybe a game or two above or a game or two below. They've got the hardest schedule in all of baseball the rest of the way by winning percentage. I think starting last night, I think they have 16 straight games against teams above 500. So I think it is going to be a little more difficult than you would think it's going to be. I don't think they've got what it takes to get into the postseason this year. So you just try and win as many games as you can and try and enjoy the process as it goes.
All right. Very good. Well, Steve, it's always a pleasure to have you on with us. We now will be seeing you at the Bucks games, not just at the Rays games. You're becoming a very busy guy, but we certainly do appreciate you joining us on the program today. And overall, your takeaway from last night's Bucks game?
My takeaway is thank God everybody's healthy and ready for September 8th against the Commanders.
All right. Very good. Steve, thank you again for joining us. Always great having you on the program.
Thank you.
Well, thanks, guys.
All right. Very good. Donald, we don't really have enough time to go to you here in this hour, but if you can just take a cup of coffee or whatever your beverage is, and you will lead off the second hour for us. If you'll be kind enough to do that, we certainly do appreciate you hanging in there and joining us. Good to have Mario with us as well on Facebook Live. And Mario says this is indeed a historic day here in the Tampa Bay area with both men's and women's soccer going on at the same time on both sides of the bay.
That's exciting.
And I'm kind of glad, Jason, that the Bucks played last night and high school football was last night, and USF hasn't started yet. So it kind of does give them center stage on the local sports
More
scene.
people will go to those games who otherwise might be going to other events. You're right about that.
Gators next weekend. So this is a good weekend to have both the Rowdies and the Sun at home on the same night. Well, stay with us. Hour number 2 of the home team coming up here on the Tan Talk Radio Network. AM 1340 and 1350, FM 106.1, 102.3, and Facebook
Live.
WTAN, Clearwater,
FM 106.1,
WDCF, Dade City,
FM 102.3.
Listen.
This is CBS News on the Hour, sponsored by Progressive Insurance.
I'm Stacey Lynn. Big space decision today regarding the 2 astronauts still stranded at the International Space Station. Boeing's Starliner took them up there, but there are safety concerns with getting them back home on the capsule. CBS's Mark Strassman tells us the other option would be hitching a ride with rival SpaceX early next year.
The next SpaceX mission to the ISS, set for next month, could launch with a crew of 2 instead of 4, leaving 2 empty seats for Wilmore and Williams to return next February. We asked NASA astronaut Nick Hague about the possibility of giving up his seat on that mission.
Ultimately, those are my colleagues up there, and there's nothing I want to see more than for them to come home safely.
Even if it means that your next trip to space gets delayed.
Absolutely.
Business reporter Jason Brooks with some good news about finally getting interest rates down.
Jerome Powell opened his remarks at the Fed's annual Jackson Hole meeting by saying that it's time to start adjusting policy. And while Powell didn't explicitly say a rate cut is coming at next month's meeting, it was the most dovish he's sounded on interest rates since the central bank stopped hiking rates last summer.
There's talk about a possible prisoner swap between Russia and Ukraine. Reuters says the 2 countries are set to exchange 115 prisoners today, following mediation from the United Arab Emirates. Meanwhile, today is Ukraine's 33rd Independence Day. President Zelensky marked the day by vowing to take revenge on Russia. Another shakeup in the race for president. RFK Jr. has suspended his campaign and is now supporting former President Trump. He was at the Trump rally in Arizona yesterday.
I don't think I've ever introduced anybody that got applause like that.
Trump supporters are all for the union.
He's a great man, and he wants to do great things in the health arena. He'll be a super addition to the Trump campaign.
Very different reaction from Kennedy's famous family, though, who in a statement called his support for Trump a betrayal. Heading somewhere for Labor Day weekend, you can expect the roads to be jammed and airports packed. Here's CBS's Christine Laser.
The TSA expects to screen more than 17 million passengers, which would be an all-time high. And drivers will find lower gas prices. Right now, the average is down about 45 cents a gallon from 2023, according to AAA.
If you want to save on gas entirely, you can go electric. For the 3rd year in a row, Car and Driver has named the Hyundai Ioniq the electric vehicle of the year. This is CBS News.
Sponsored by Progressive Insurance. Get renter's insurance to protect the things that make your place a home, including coverage for theft or damage. Visit Progressive.com.
Did you ever think about hosting your very own radio show? Here's how.
Hey, Tampa Bay, did you know you can have a 1-hour program on the TAN Talk Radio Network for less than the cost of one 60-second announcement on many Tampa Bay stations? That's right. We'll put you on the radio for less than the cost of one 60-second announcement on many stations. Check it out today. Use your program to promote yourself, your business, or someone else's business. Call Lola Jean, the broadcast queen, 727-510-7622. That's 510-7622. Call Lola Jean now to check out your TAN Talk network program. In addition to network radio, we'll stream your program in audio and video all over the world. Call Lola Jean now, 727-510-7622. Call today. Your network 1-hour program can start tomorrow. Broadcast your message in audio and video on the TAN Talk Radio Network.
Hello, this is the one and only Robbie the Shark. I want to welcome you to the new program, All Groovy, man. I just want a bunch of folks in front of my porch. Let's have a Coca-Cola, a sweet tea, or whatever your drink of flavor is, and let's just talk about life and how far we've come on the only 1340 WTAN TAN Talk Radio Network.
It's All Groovy with Robbie the Shark. Thursdays from 8 to 9 p.m. Listen at your own risk.
Tune in to the Shrink and Wrap Show here on TAN Talk Radio. Our stories and our topics will include, but are not limited to, everyday issues. We're here for you, for our listeners. We want to know what's important to you. So again, don't miss us on TAN Talk Radio. Tune in again, Shrink and Wrap Show. We'll see you then.
That's the Shrink and Wrap Show every Thursday from 3 to 4 p.m. right here on the TAN Talk Radio Network.
Do you have questions after being injured in a car accident or injured because of someone's negligence? Do you feel overwhelmed or uncertain about the next steps after being injured in a crash? The personal injury attorneys at Peronic, Caulfield, Averill, and Noyes have been helping their injured clients since 1955 and are now on this radio station to provide guidance to you. Listen to FLA Law each Tuesday from 5 to 6 p.m. Let their decades of experience help you and your family. Offices in Clearwater, non-attorney spokesman.
This is Paul Porter, the arena voice of the Tampa Bay Lightning and Orlando Magic, and the press box voice of the Tampa Bay Buccaneers. I hope you'll join me every Saturday morning from 9 a.m. to 11 a.m. for my weekly show, The Home Team, heard right here on the TAN Talk Radio Network and Facebook Live, The Home Team with Paul Porter, talking Lightning, Bucks, Rays, USF, and a whole lot more. Your calls and prize giveaways. Join us this Saturday and every Saturday morning for The Home Team, 9 to 11 on the TAN Talk Radio Network.
This is the TAN Talk Radio Network.
When the Super Bowl ended, the ball would be in the hands of Tom Brady. I don't know why we ever think it won't.
It's time for the Home Team on the TAN Talk Radio Network. The Home Team is brought to you in part by Cambridge Christian School, a Christian education that's affordable and well-respected. By FAS Windows and Doors, with stores in Tampa and Orlando. By Action Air Conditioning, family-owned and operated, serving the entire Tampa Bay area. And now, here he is, the arena voice of the Tampa Bay Lightning and Orlando Magic, and the press box voice of the Tampa Bay Buccaneers, Paul Porter.
Well, thank you very much, and welcome back to hour number 2 of the Home Team here on the TAN Talk Radio Network. Glad to have you with us, and we're going to get to Donald in just a second. But, Jason, before we do, what's going on at Alessi Bakery this week?
Sure. We've got some great specials. We always have buy one, get one free specials each week. This week it's our sugar cookies, the gourmet sugar cookies. Buy one, get one free. Also, some of our cake slices, tiramisu cake, and the pumpkin masu cakes, kind of like the tiramisu, but with pumpkin flavor. Those are from our grab-and-go cooler. Those are buy one, get one free. We also always have a great variety of items, guava turnovers, apple turnovers, danishes, cupcakes. We have eclairs, cannolis, the chocolate princess cake. Slice, one of your favorites.
That is my favorite cake there.
We have a great deli offering a variety of sandwiches, Cuban sandwiches, Italian subs, club sandwiches, Philly cheesesteaks, hot entrees, and our devil crabs and beef empanadas, and our famous scacciata pizza, our cold meat pizza, always one of our best sellers.
So may swing by and get a couple of Crunch Pups.
Yeah, well, that we're still in the works.
All right. Okay. All right. Are you going to do what you've done? You do a lot of polling with cookie sales.
Oh yeah.
Are you doing that for the Trump and Harris?
No question. That's been a big deal since we've been doing that for about the last 20 years during the presidential election. So
kind of a straw poll, and you can kind of get the way people are feeling.
That's right. That's right.
When do you think you'll be doing that?
Usually, I want to say probably maybe like a month out or so.
So around
a month or a little over a month out from the election.
Or early October.
I would say so. Yeah.
Okay. All right.
Yep.
Keep us posted on how that
most
goes.
Definitely. It's always a big deal.
And the way it works is you just get to choose which cookie you buy.
Yeah.
Right?
Yeah. And then we tally them up kind of like votes, and we keep track of them.
Okay. All right. Very good. So always fun things going on at Alessi Bakery. You located?
We're at 2909 West Cypress Street, in between MacDill and Armenia. And we're open 7 days a week, Monday through Friday, 8 a.m. to 5 p.m., Saturdays, 8 a.m. to 6 p.m., and then Sundays, 9 a.m. to 4 p.m.
All right. Very good. And again, a good place to stop by for lunch today. Check out the grill there. Mm-hmm. You can get the breakfast sandwiches even at lunchtime.
All day long. Breakfast. A lot of people get that. We have bacon, egg, and cheese, ham, egg, and cheese, sausage, egg, and cheese, steak, egg, and cheese. So all kinds. We serve breakfast all day long.
All right. Very good. Let's go back to the phone lines. Donald is with us. Hello, Donald. You're on the Home Team.
Oh, good morning, guys.
Good morning.
As well.
Yes, sir.
The Bucks did look really good last night. You know, even that some throws by Trask. A couple of them were off, but a couple of them were right on. So that was very exciting to see.
Chase McLaughlin nailed a 51-yard field goal.
Yep.
So very good.
Yeah. I think they're ready for the season. I think they're
agree.
ready for that to happen. They've had joint workouts with both Jacksonville and Miami.
Yeah. And the key is that everyone is healthy. You just hope that they can stay healthy. There's always going to be injuries no matter what. You hope that with your team it's minor, that's not serious, and it doesn't affect your most key players.
Yeah,
but you never know with that. But I think the Bucs should have a very, very good team. And looking at their schedule, the first, I'd say 2 out of 3 games are very winnable. Washington at home. They travel to Detroit. That's going to be a really tough game. Then they're back home against Denver. Washington and Denver were 2 teams that did not make the playoffs last year, and they're both going with rookie quarterbacks this year. Washington with Jaden Daniels, the rookie out of LSU. Of course, Denver with Bo Nix. They drafted out of Oregon. Now, having said that, you still got to show up and play, but those 2 games look certainly winnable. And some of the others, I know they'll play Philadelphia, which is a tough game, but they did beat them in the playoffs last year, and of course some of the games in their division. But you just want to play with consistency throughout the season. Last year was kind of up and down. The Bucs got off to a great start, then they struggled mightily through the middle part of the season before riding the ship and coming back late to make it to the playoffs. But they just had a 9-8 record. You like to see a little bit more consistency this year.
Well, 2 weeks from today, on the eve of the season opener, we will pick our selections, Jason, as to how many games the Bucs will win.
Okay.
With the 17-game schedule, and we'll see how things go. But I'm optimistic, and I liked what I saw last night. That's for sure.
Yeah, I don't see why they shouldn't have at least 10 wins.
I agree. Yeah, they had 9 last year. So
yeah, 10's a good number to shoot for.
10 and 7. I think that's very reasonable. I certainly think that 10 or 11 wins are doable for this team.
Yeah, I think
Absolutely.
11 would guarantee them pretty much a division title and certainly a playoff spot. I think 10 might be good enough to make the playoffs.
Yeah.
If not with the division as a wild card.
I still think the Bucs are the best team in the division. I think some people talk about Atlanta with the addition of Kirk Cousins. It's going to be a big upgrade to the quarterback position there. They have a lot of supporting cast. But and New Orleans is still pretty good too. But I still think overall, I think the Bucs are the best team. They're the most well-rounded team in terms of both offense and defense and special teams.
Well, Donald, if you know anybody that can help them out at Mahoney's Auto, I know you could do it if you were a little younger, but you've got a full-time job. But they are looking for an entry-level mechanic. So I know you do a lot in the auto industry. If you can find someone, they'd certainly appreciate it.
I'll ask around at some of the dealerships that I audit. Because some of them have their own mechanics, and they don't get paid, great there at the dealerships, because they're like buy here, pay here kind of dealerships that I audit. But I'll ask around some of the mechanics that I see.
Okay.
But, you think if the Rays had Fairbanks last night in there, I know he's injured. I don't think he would have given up that grand slam.
Yeah, he's not looked good his last few outings prior to the injury.
Because he was hurt. Yeah, maybe he was hurt and just not, talking about it.
Yeah.
You never know.
Guy like Shohei Ohtani, though, he just shows why he's the greatest player in baseball.
When you have the bases loaded on top of that just puts the added pressure to any pitcher who's out there. That's a tough situation to be in.
Yeah, Donald, always good to hear from you. Thanks so much for joining us.
Absolutely. You guys take care. Have a safe week, and talk to you next week.
Thank you, Donald. You
look
too.
forward to it. Let's go to Kirk real quick here before we hit a break. Hello, Kirk. You're on the home team.
Hey, Paul and Jason. Hey, you just can't have Jason talking about all that good food. It just makes you hungry.
Yeah, I know.
That's the idea.
I make myself hungry.
Yeah, I get you to head over to Leslie Bakery.
So, I've been out of country the last couple of weeks, so I've missed you guys. But, yeah, the Bucs, I thought, looked pretty good last night, and they seem to be ready to play. I mean, this is a team that I think has something to prove that they can win without all these superstars. But they've developed pretty well. This new rookie wide receiver with Evans on the other side. going to be pretty interesting.
Yeah, I'm anxious to see what they can do, and now Baker Mayfield knows that he's there. He's the guy. He doesn't have to worry about contracts or anything like that.
And so much of it is having a top quarterback, a guy who at that position, the most important position. That's number one. I though really love how so many of the players the Bucs have drafted in recent years, they seem to come in and make an impact right away, an immediate impact. And that's what you really love to see. And of course, some of the rookies last year you would think in theory would be even better this year. Already this year with the rookies, Graham Barton is expected to start at center. You're going to have other guys. Jalen McMillan had a great catch on the sideline last night out of Washington. He's going to get a lot of playing time. These other guys are going to come in right away. I think they're going to make an impact.
The center position is definitely going to be interesting. Barton has looked good in the preseason, but now he's going to go up against those big boys in the NFL who will show him either you're going to make it or you're not going to make it at this level.
Yeah, good point. Good point. Very good.
We'll see how he does, especially when they play Detroit. I think that'll be a good test.
That'll be a good test.
Second
an
game
early
of the season
test. Yeah.
Yep.
And I believe it's Detroit's home opener.
So the quick thing, one other comment I have is, it's interesting that we still are talking about the Rays at this point in the season, because this is not even a team that was anywhere at the beginning of the year.
Mm-hmm.
So at least they're still in the run. They're still playing. They're playing hard. Should have had a win last night. But I'm looking forward to next year, because I think they're going to have some talent that's going to develop, and it's going to be back in the run. But this is just amazing that they've won as many games as they have with what they put out there this year.
Yeah.
Oh, I agree. And the fact that next year they're going to start with their top three pitchers, which they played just about the entire season without. McClanahan, Springs, and Rasmussen. All are going to be back next year. I mean, that's going to be huge.
Hopefully we won't be playing Name That Ray next year.
Yeah.
They'll keep the team together.
Yep.
We've had a lot of fun with that, Kirk.
In your women's soccer tonight, that's a great little facility they built there.
Yeah.
Up at Blake.
I'm looking forward to checking it out.
I just can't do it this weekend because I have to referee volleyball. So that will keep me busy.
All right. Very good. Kirk, always good to hear from you. Thanks so much.
Have a great week, guys.
Thank you.
You too. All right. We need to hit a break. Anthony and Don, hang on. We're going to get to both of you in our next segment or two. So stay right where you're at. More of the home team coming up on the Tan Talk Radio Network, AM 1340 and 1350, FM 106.1, 102.3, and Facebook
Live.
This is the Tan Talk Radio Network.
Now is a great time to shop your homeowners and auto insurance. Alliance Mutual Insurance can lower your cost on insurance during these challenging economic times. Alliance Mutual, an independent agency, is in the Tampa Bay area, locally owned with over 20 years experience. They have access to dozens of independent carriers and can find the lowest price with the highest quality coverage. Citizens is not your only option. Call or text Jamie Brown, a home team listener and supporter, at 727-637-2341. That's Jamie Brown at 727-637-2341.
This is Paul Porter. Even though I'm sorry to say we've lost our good friend and longtime sponsor, LZ Mahoney, I'm happy to tell you his legacy of Mahoney's Auto Repair at 4040 54th Avenue North in St. Petersburg lives on. They're in need of a light mechanic who can perform oil changes, battery changes, tire repair, and rotation. If you have those skills or know someone who does and would like to be a part of keeping LZ's legacy alive, please call Terry at 727-527-7773 or stop by the shop at 4040 54th Avenue North in St. Petersburg. Pay is based on experience, and you can start as soon as you're available. Once again, if you or someone you know would like to keep Mahoney's Auto helping those in need of car repair, call 727-527-7773 or stop by and see Terry at 4040 54th Avenue North in St. Petersburg.
This is Paul Porter for Second Time Sports at 2104 Main Street, right next to Walmart, just west of Belcher Road. You can save big on new or gently used sports equipment from hockey to soccer to baseball. They're now selling and renting gently used bicycles. Don't pay retail at the chain sports stores. Check out the large selection at Second Time Sports at just a fraction of the cost. Second Time Sports, 2104 Main Street next to Walmart, just west of Belcher Road. Call them at 727-784-0007 and tell them what you're looking for.
My new windows from FAS Windows and Doors are in. I couldn't be happier with the job they did, from measuring perfectly to prompt and exact installation. How did I choose FAS over all the other window companies? I've known Ernie and John Wilding for nearly 20 years. They're father and son and started FAS Windows and Doors way back in 2005. In fact, FAS actually stands for father and son. They are Central and West Central Florida's largest volume window and door dealer, with showrooms and distribution facilities in both Tampa and Orlando. As you know, I never endorse a product or service unless I've used them or thoroughly researched them. Their objective is providing the best quality windows and doors on the market at reasonable prices with a customer service level that is unsurpassed in the industry. Never an obligation when you call 866-737-7173 or visit them on the internet at faswd.com or call 866-737-7137. You'll be glad you did. I sure am. 10 years ago, my wife and I started a nonprofit ministry to help victims of domestic violence called Reach Out, Speak Out. Would you consider a donation to help our ministry? If you'd like to join our auxiliary board or just be a friend to Reach Out, Speak Out by helping with your time, talents, or treasures whenever you're available, please contact us by visiting reachoutspeakout.org. Please send your donation to Post Office Box 4979, Tampa, Florida 33677, 5013C number 47163. 0804. This is Paul Porter. You know, with the schedule I keep working for the Lightning, Magic, and Buccaneers, a good night's sleep is a must for me. That's why I'm happy to tell you about the Original Mattress Factory. Their mattresses are hand-built right here in Tampa Bay with the highest quality at a very reasonable price. They aren't like these other mattress companies that'll jack their prices up every holiday and then do a so-called super discount during their so-called sale. You actually end up paying more than what the mattress is worth. The secret is, with OMF, you're getting factory direct pricing and eliminating the middleman retailer. There's no high-pressure salespeople either. OMF is employee-owned, and they make it all about you. Double-sided mattresses, and they even email you when it's time to flip your mattress. Stop by their factory on Almerton Road in Clearwater and see for yourself, or visit one of their stores in Tampa or Brandon. There's nothing like a good night's sleep, and you'll get it with the Original Mattress Factory, and you'll get it for less. The Original Mattress Factory. The best entertainment deal for $1 in Tampa Bay is back with the return of Clearwater Threshers Dollar Tuesdays to Baycare Ballpark. Enjoy the fun and excitement of minor league baseball with $1 burn tickets, hot dogs, sodas, and more. Every homestand this summer starts with a Dollar Tuesday featuring admission and select concession items for just $1. Visit threshersbaseball.com. Then visit Baycare Ballpark in Clearwater for Dollar Tuesdays, presented by Top Notch Pest Control.
This is the Tan Talk Radio Network.
Welcome back to the home team, and glad to have you with us. And we want to bring in, we always talk about the roses and the thorns. Yes. You and I and Matt make pretty good thorns, Jason, but we have a rose with us right now. Nice. And that is Jacqueline Bryant from USA Law, our good friends with Matt Noyes and all of them there out at that firm. Jacqueline, welcome to the home team.
Hi, how are you? Thank you for having me.
We're doing good. Good to have you on with us, and we're glad to be partnering with your firm. Matt Noyes was very instrumental in getting that accomplished, and we're glad to be associated with the firm there. You have a program yourself, actually, here on Tan Talk Radio Network.
We do. We're there on the air every Tuesday at 5 o'clock with FLA Law on the radio. It's a live legal call-in talk show where people can call in and get their legal questions answered right there on the air.
There are so many intricacies as far as law is concerned. And, if you watch TV, every other commercial seems to be for some trial attorney or injury attorney or whatever. But you and the people there at USA Law have been around for a long, long time. In fact, I believe you're Clearwater's oldest law firm.
That's right. So it is one of Tampa Bay's oldest personal injury law firms, founded in 1955, which is way before my time. But it has certainly been around. We've actually been in that one location on Belcher and Sunset Point since the 80s. And we have kind of specialized in that area of personal injury, car accidents, slip and falls, and so forth and so on since 1955. So going on 70 years here soon.
One thing that people are really perplexed by is, where do I begin? I've just been in a car accident. I feel as though I may be injured, or I certainly am injured. What is the best step? Take us through it, Jacqueline, if you would, as far as what should you do first, and then what else do they need to do?
Yeah, absolutely. That's a great question. So, if you're obviously living in the Tampa Bay area, you know how congested the roads can be, especially if you're going to one of those sporting events. And it can happen, and that's why they're called accidents. So absolutely, I think the first thing you'd want to do is, of course, assess the damage and see what's going on with your car, the other car. Take photos, see if you're okay, your passenger's okay. And if anyone needs medical attention, I definitely recommend calling an ambulance to the scene, call 911, have the police come out so that a report can be taken. At the end of the day, people may say things at the scene and they'll say, "Oh, I'm sorry. I didn't mean to, I wasn't paying attention. I didn't mean to hit you," or anything. And then they change their story later. So it's always better to kind of call an officer, someone come out, EMS will come out. They can take your vitals and see if you need to go in. If it's serious, and take you on to the hospital. And then, but photos of everything. Take pictures of your car. Take pictures of the other driver's car. If there's debris in the road or, skid marks, you want to document all of that, because those things will, over time will not be there anymore. And if a dispute arises, you want to have that proof. Then after that, after you've taken the pictures and gotten the treatment, then you call us, right?
Okay. All right. USA Law is who you call. But
exactly.
Jacqueline, if someone hears from an insurance company, insurance companies are prohibitive as far as giving a low ball offer, aren't they?
Oh, yeah. Yeah, that's certainly their MO. And, I obviously, if you look at it from their perspective, they're just trying to save money on their bottom line, but that shouldn't be the case, And in the case, you're not a business decision. You're a person. Your body's been injured, and there's really, a lot of times it's hard to quantify how do you compensate someone for their back pain and their neck pain and these permanent injuries. So, yeah, it's very it's very common that an insurance company will just say, "Hey, we'll throw a little bit of money at you. We'll pay for your initial medical bills. You'll be fine. It'll be okay." And they'll try to get you to sign away your rights right away, very quickly. Or they'll even offer to wire money into your account. And you think, wow, they're really helping me out here. I didn't think it would be that. But they're actually having you sign away your entire claim before you even know what the full extent of your injuries might be.
Yeah, exactly. What is the best way to get in touch with your firm if someone unfortunately is involved in a crash? What should they do? How do they reach you?
Yeah, so there's plenty of ways. I think the best way would obviously be by phone. So I will give you a 727-796-8282. That's the best number to call if you want to get someone immediately. You can call that number 24 hours a day, 7 days a week, and someone will answer at 727-796-8282. But you can also go to usalaw.com if you want to look us up on the website. You can see all of my partners, Matthew Noyes, Brian Caulfield, Mark Pernick, myself, Jacqueline Bryant. You'll see all our bios. You can figure out what we've been doing in the community and what kind of areas of law we practice. But also, if you're into socials, we're on everything. We're on Facebook, we're on Instagram, we're on TikTok, LinkedIn, you name it. So you just look us up under Pernick, Caulfield, Averill, Noyes. Pernick is spelled P-E-R-E-N-I-C-H. If you type that name into your search bar, you're probably going to find us on all the different platforms. And of course, our show, our FLA Law radio show, streams live on YouTube as well. So you should be able to find all those good things.
And that again is on Tuesdays at what time?
Tuesday at 5 o'clock, every Tuesday at 5.
All right. Very good. Jacqueline, great to talk with you. Thanks so much for taking the time and helping our listeners. That's a number they want to write down, 727-796-8282. You never know when you're going to need you. That's for sure.
Exactly right. Thank you so much.
All right. Thank you, Jacqueline. We appreciate it. Let's get back to the phone lines and talk to Anthony next. Hello, Anthony. You're on the home team. We'll get him out of the phone zone and ready to go. Hello, Anthony.
Oh, hello, guys.
Hello. We got you.
Yeah. In regards to Kyle Trask, from what we've seen so far, and Paul, you mentioned that Mayfield is already locked in as the premier quarterback. Are we going to possibly see Trask in any of the games, and what possible games would those be?
I think you could see him in some of the games if it's gotten out of hand. I think if it's fourth quarter and they're ahead by 4 or 5 touchdowns, or they're behind by 4 or 5 touchdowns, that would be when you see him, or an injury, of course.
Or an injury, which we hope doesn't happen. But yeah, I think that would be the only time you would see him.
So no possible start to finish games for Trask. In other words, he would just come in as a substitute.
Unless Mayfield is injured and can't go, that would be the only thing. Kyle Trask is. I think he's gotten a lot of work in the preseason, which I think makes him a decent backup to have.
Played the entire game except for that.
He played the entire game. Now, obviously, he hasn't taken the strides that I think the Bucs thought he might take when they drafted him, because I think when they drafted him, they were thinking at the time this guy could be the heir apparent to Tom Brady when Brady retires. Mm-hmm. And obviously they didn't have a lot of confidence in him, because that's why they brought in Baker Mayfield in the first place. And they went with Baker Mayfield last year, and Mayfield had probably his best season yet as a pro, and certainly has established himself as a starter. So what I'm curious to see is over the next couple of years, will Trask get a shot with another team eventually? Mm-hmm. Would he try to go and maybe compete for a starting job? But again, I think if you're another team, if you see, well, he wasn't able to win the job here, how much confidence do they have in him? Hard to say.
What could happen, and heaven forbid that it does, is that let's say they start off 0-4 and 0-5. Then you're going to hear a lot of people saying, put in Trask. This just isn't working. Put Trask in. That's a long shot that would happen. But if it did, there'd probably be some people making the case for it.
Mm-hmm.
Go ahead.
Well, no, I was just going to say, the thing with Kyle Trask, he was a good college quarterback. I mean, he played, he was obviously at Florida, so a very big school in a big conference, the SEC. And I thought that he played some of his best games in college against some of the toughest opponents. When they played Alabama or LSU, Kyle Trask did have really good games. So, obviously he played under pressure situations in college, but he just doesn't seem to have found the consistency yet between practice and the preseason that would lead the Bucs to think he could be their starter full time.
Donald says Trask could be a starter on another team, so he feels that way as well. Anything else, Anthony?
In regards to the voices, the classic voices that we're losing, I know we're going to be losing Gene Deckerhoff, and just memorable voices. We got Chief and Peckham. But my idea, if it's possible, I know we've heard Michigan and Esposito on the radio go pretty much dramatic on incidents, but would it be nice if the play-by-play on the TV would go in a sort of Gordon Soley style? Whenever a fight broke out, they would interject something like a Pier 6 brawl has broken out. His face is a crimson mask. He asks no quarter and gives none. And that would be classic. Just the excitement, the emphasis of what's going on.
I don't know if our millennial and Gen X audience that listen to the games would be ready for that. They'd probably think, "What in the world is this? What's going on?"
Well, you see some guy. I mean, who's the guy from the Pittsburgh Penguins? Let's stretch my back with a hacksaw.
Mike Lang.
Yeah,
Mike Lang.
And some of those are just classic, though. You do love them. You love to hear them, and some people who aren't used to that might be kind of taken aback. But yeah, you're right. Anthony's right. It is entertaining. That's part of listening to the game. You want to be entertained.
I was at a speaking engagement and gave that example of what Mike Lang said, and people looked horrified. Oh my gosh, that's an awful thing to even think about. Scratch my back with a hacksaw. Oh my word! Those are some greats. Absolutely, absolutely.
Yeah.
Anthony.
So let me extend kudos to Michigan and Esposito for at least getting that excitement via the radio airwaves. So thank you so much, guys.
All right. Thank you, Donald. I know.
Anthony.
Anthony, rather. Sorry about that. I'm looking at what Donald said here. Yeah. The only thing that drives me crazy with Phil, and I love Phil to death. He's a great person. He just steps all over Dave Mishkin. And Dave is doing his best to try and give the play-by-play. And you'll hear, now coming up on the right side, and oh, no, hit him, and Dave just has to try and talk through it.
Yeah.
I've
heard other radio broadcasts from other teams like that too. When some of the guy gets really emotional, they start being, they're like a fan. They're like a fan. That's after they're reacting to the game.
There's a guy in Detroit. I believe his name is Dave Woods or Mike Woods, but Paul Woods is his name. He used to play for the Red Wings. He's a great color analyst, but the problem I have with him, he talks extremely fast.
Right.
I mean, he'll say, well, there's left wing and I got him right wing.
It's like an auctioneer.
Yeah. And it's hard to understand what he's saying, and sometimes even the play-by-play guy, Ken Cal, will step in and kind of translate what Paul Woods just said for those that can't understand 30 words a second.
Right.
But we need to hit a break, and then when we come back, Don is going to join us on the other side. Stay right there, Don. Want to hear from you. I've had a chance to go to a couple of games with Don this year, a couple of Rays games, and he left one that was a barn burner last Sunday. The game went 12 innings, and the Rays ended up winning it in extra innings 8-7. We'll talk to him about that. More of the home team coming up on the Tan Talk Radio Network, AM 1340 and 1350, FM 106.1, 102.3, and Facebook
Live.
This is the Tan Talk Radio Network.
When you talk about ice rink development in West Central Florida, one name stands alone: Iceman Development, LLC. Gordy Zimmerman, president and founder of Iceman Development, has played an integral part in the construction of the Ice Sports Forum in Brandon, the training home of the three-time Stanley Cup champion Tampa Bay Lightning, and the Advent Health Center Ice Complex, a multi-million-dollar facility boasting 150,000 square feet, and ranked the top indoor ice rink facility by both the USA Today and Yelp. Iceman Development is currently involved in creating yet another outstanding ice rink facility in Trinity and Pasco County. Iceman's company mission is to build community projects that impact the area both in quality of life and economic growth. For more information, visit icemandevelopment.com. That's Iceman with 2 N's, development.com. Much like the weather, your life could change at the drop of a hat. Don't be caught unprepared. You don't know what will happen tomorrow, but no matter what happens to you, you can make sure your loved ones are provided for with a life insurance policy from Auto Owners Insurance. Meet with a local independent agent and secure a policy now to rest easy knowing you're protecting the ones you love. Visit Vermost Insurance in Tampa Bay today at vermost.com.
This is Paul Porter for Second Time Sports at 2104 Main Street, right next to Walmart, just west of Belcher Road. You can save big on new or gently used sports equipment from hockey to soccer to baseball. They're now selling and renting gently used bicycles. Don't pay retail at the chain sports stores. Check out the large selection at Second Time Sports at just a fraction of the cost. Second Time Sports, 2104 Main Street, next to Walmart, just west of Belcher Road. Call them at 727-784-0007 and tell them what you're looking for.
Life Builders Christian Counseling Center brings hurting people to wholeness in Christ. Life Builders is a professional counseling center with multiple counselors and locations in Brandon and Tampa. They offer in-person, Zoom, and group sessions, counseling individuals, married couples, children and adolescents, and families. Some of our licensed counselors take most insurances. Call 813-438-5949 or visit lifebuilderscounseling.org. Life Builders can help. 813-438-5949 and at lifebuilderscounseling.org.
This is Paul Porter. You know, with the schedule I keep working for the Lightning, Magic, and Buccaneers, a good night's sleep is a must for me. That's why I'm happy to tell you about the Original Mattress Factory. Their mattresses are hand-built right here in Tampa Bay with the highest quality at a very reasonable price. They aren't like these other mattress companies that'll jack their prices up every holiday and then do a so-called super discount during their so-called sale. You actually end up paying more than what the mattress is worth. The secret is, with OMF, you're getting factory direct pricing and eliminating the middleman retailer. There's no high-pressure salespeople either. OMF is employee-owned, and they make it all about you. Double-sided mattresses, and they even email you when it's time to flip your mattress. Stop by their factory on Almerton Road in Clearwater and see for yourself, or visit one of their stores in Tampa or Brandon. There's nothing like a good night's sleep, and you'll get it with the Original Mattress Factory, and you'll get it for less. The Original Mattress Factory. Happy 60th birthday, Cambridge Christian School. Hi, everyone. I'm Paul Porter, voice of the Lightning, here to tell you about the exciting growth happening here at CCS. Coming this fall is our state-of-the-art 45,000 square foot high school and STEM lab. For over 60 years, Cambridge Christian's award-winning academics, athletics, and the arts has been changing the way you think about Christian education. Visit us today at ccslancers.com.
In 1955, the law firm now known as Perenick, Caulfield, Averill, and Noyes made a decision. Instead of taking whatever cases came through their doors, they decided to focus specifically on personal injury. 64 years later, the law firm is one of Clearwater's longest-running personal injury firms. Available 24 hours a day with offices in Clearwater and throughout Tampa Bay, they're ready to put decades of experience to work for you if you or a loved one has been injured in a car accident or injured due to someone's negligence or recklessness. If you feel overwhelmed, uncertain, or unsure about your next steps after being involved in an accident or after a loved one sustained serious injuries due to someone else's negligence, call Perenick, Caulfield, Averill, and Noyes at 727-796-8282 or online at usalaw.com. That's 727-796-8282 or online at usalaw.com. Non-attorney spokesman.
This is the Tan Talk Radio Network.
Welcome back to the home team. Glad to have you with us. And let's continue on the phone lines. Don is with us next. Hello, Don. You're on the home team.
Good morning, Paul.
Good morning. Thanks for holding on.
Isn't it funny? I left the stadium at 6.5 innings, and the score was 6-0. And as I'm walking out of the trop, one of the ushers that says goodbye to you says, "We got a sweep. We got a sweep." I get in the car. It's 6-3. And then by the time I get home, it's 6-6. I get back in the car to go up to Lake High School for the game, and the game is still going on. Mm-hmm. And I couldn't believe it. It had to be the wildest game of the year.
Yeah. We were sitting in the outfield in left field behind the left fielder, and we were in the second row. And I think there was probably like 4 different groups of people that came and went in that front row for the entire game because people would move out and then they'd think the game was over and then they'd leave and somebody else would get in there.
Well, it goes to show you again, the home run being the great equalizer. If you could be down by a whole bunch of runs, so you get some guys on base, you blast a 3-run homer, and then all of a sudden things change already. Just like what happened in last night's game, too, for the Rays.
I felt sorry for the parents that wanted to have their kids run the base.
Yeah,
They were gonna have a late dinner.
And they kept several groups went down to get ready to run the bases, and the game kept going, and they kept going, and that's for sure. But it's neat to see some younger people coming back to the games. Don, there's been so many problems with the older fans are dying off, and they need younger fans to replace them. And I am just such a big fan of the rule changes that they made in baseball with the pitch clock and moving things along. The 4-hour games are a rarity anymore.
Yes, I agree with you. I think there's only been one game that's gone past 3 hours and 45 minutes since the pitch clock came in 2 years ago.
Mm-hmm.
And I think that speaks well of the game, that they do not have a lot of time that just is not accounted for.
And they are enforcing it too. I saw a Yankee game the other day, and Garrett Cole was really getting into it with the home plate umpire because he took one too many warm-up pitches. Mm-hmm. And the umpire said ball one, and Cole didn't like it at all, and he was going jaw to jaw with him. But if you're going to enforce it, you got to do it by the rule.
That's right.
I want to talk about the Tampa Bay Sun. I went to their first exhibition game 2 weeks ago, and last Sunday was their inaugural game, to the inaugural weekend of the league. And I can tell you that the play is very good. The coach they have has some players that she's coached before at USF. And when I went up and down the lineup, I saw a lot of Division I players from different schools that range from the age of like 22 to 31. And they play pretty well. I won't say that it's comparable yet to the NWSL, but I can tell you that it is a major league setup as far as how they play the game. And I think that will make a lot of people want to come at least once or twice.
I'm going tonight. I'm actually going tonight to their game. And we were mentioning, and we'll talk with Rob Belke after the next break, this is an historic night, Don, with both the Rowdies and the Sun playing at the same time.
Yeah, I think the first few weeks of this of the women's league is an event. People who have never seen it before. There's never been a women's major league in Tampa Bay before. So there's a lot of young people that have not been to a pro game that are going to a pro game, and they're seeing players that probably be in this league for a long time. So I think you're gonna enjoy it. The goalkeeping was great in the two games that I saw.
And I'm anxious to see what they've done with the stadium too.
Well, the stadium is nice. I wish it were a little bit bigger, but the scoreboards have not been put in yet. The real scoreboard is not put in, so just be patient. And also, if in my opinion, you might want to get a few waters in before you get into the stadium, because the lines were just so long because of the crowd. Now I'm going to see what kind of a crowd they get tonight. Unfortunately, I can't be there. I have a previous event at Drew and US 19 tonight, so I can't make that game. But I'm going to try to make as many games as I can.
And people don't realize that you're actually selling furniture there at Cane's. No, actually, I'm just kidding. That's there's a ballpark there as well.
That's Donald's place, Cane's, to go get the taco.
There you go.
They use Cane's as a parking lot for where I work.
There you go. All right. Well, Don, thanks so much. We appreciate it. Enjoyed going to the games with you.
Absolutely, I did too. I really did. I think it was just a treat to be able to just talk with you and enjoy what we saw in front of us.
All right. Thanks so much.
You're welcome.
Appreciate it, Don. Let's go to Al next. Hello, Al. You're on the home team.
Hello, Al.
Hey.
We're here. Good to have you back.
Well, I'm upset over the way this dictator umpires are running baseball today. They're throwing off managers for this or for that. They are the worst, just the worst officiate that I've seen in my life.
I remember, that reminds me years ago when Ozzie Guillen, when he was with the White Sox, got thrown out by Joe West. Yeah. And he went on a rant. Hey, no one sees here to watch Joe West or umpire or me manage. We're here to watch players play ball.
Well, Aaron Judge, who's one of the nicest guys.
With the umpires, they throw you out the game.
Yeah, he actually got thrown out of a game for the first time this year.
They threw two managers out the other day, the Rays and I think it was whoever they was playing. They threw them out. And you got these low-class ball players with these low averages. They can't recognize a pitch. It was stuck in their face. And they're ruining the game too. They make it boring because you get the guy on base, on third base, and can't even make contact with the ball.
Yeah, that's frustrating when you get guys and we even like the small ball. The bunting has gone away. I think it was always a way to move guys over and bring guys home, and you don't see that much of that anymore.
Everybody's going for the long ball.
You know what? The Rays got these ball players now. They didn't gain nothing. How they win a game is always an error in there. And always an error when they win a game.
Well, I mean, some of them are still young, though, Al. They're going to give them a little time to improve. I mean, I think the hope is by next year.
You guys batting with 117, 100, their average is nothing. How they get a contract is I don't understand.
Al, I got to move along, but thank you so much. Always good to hear from you. Glad to have you back.
All right.
Appreciate it.
Thanks, Al.
Let's squeeze Marshall in here before we hit our final break. Hello, Marshall.
Good morning, guys. How are we doing?
Good morning. Thanks for joining us. We've missed you.
Oh, it's just that time change is a little tougher for me, but I'll be there next week. So.
Okay.
Yeah, I look forward to that. Well, we'll talk college football a lot.
It's the 1-year anniversary here at the Tan Talk Radio Network next week.
That's so cool to hear. Really excited about that, and excited for what you get to do next week. I'm sure you probably talked about it, but good luck with everything. I hope it goes well.
I appreciate that, and they're doing their best to keep the shop open, and that's what Elsie would want. That's for sure.
That's right. Okay. I just want to talk a little Knowles today. I don't really count that Georgia game as a loss. So, I still think we're on quite a streak, and I think the defense is going to really play well over there. But I expect a good game because whenever you travel that far, both teams, nobody wants to play lousy and just come all the way back from something like that. So I just think it's going to be a good game for probably 3 quarters, and Florida State will pull away late and probably win by a couple of touchdowns.
Yeah, it's always the first game of the season, too, so you don't know either team. There could be a little rustiness early on when both teams play the first game.
Yeah, it's no Blarney. That's for sure. All right. Marshall, thanks so much, and thanks for being here next week.
You got it. No problem. Guys, have a great weekend.
All
Thanks,
right.
Marsh.
We hit our final break, and then we'll be back and talk with Rob Belke to wrap things up here on the home team on the Tan Talk Radio Network, AM 1340 and 1350, FM 106.1, 102.3, and Facebook
Live.
This is the Tan Talk Radio Network.
This is Paul Porter. Even though I'm sorry to say we've lost our good friend and longtime sponsor, Elsie Mahoney, I'm happy to tell you his legacy of Mahoney's Auto Repair at 4040 54th Avenue North in St. Petersburg lives on. They're in need of a light mechanic who can perform oil changes, battery changes, tire repair, and rotation. If you have those skills or know someone who does and would like to be a part of keeping Elsie's legacy alive, please call Terry at 727-527-7773 or stop by the shop at 4040 54th Avenue North in St. Petersburg. Pay is based on experience, and you can start as soon as you're available. Once again, if you or someone you know would like to keep Mahoney's Auto helping those in need of car repair, call 727-527-7773 or stop by and see Terry at 4040 54th Avenue North in St. Petersburg.
Sooner or later, you're going to need a plumber. It's just a fact of life. Want somebody honest and reliable? The plumber I use is the Bearded Plumber. I've known Thomas since his high school days and now is an established plumber who offers 24-hour-a-day full service because plumbing emergencies don't wait. Keep this number handy. You know you're going to need it. It's 866-882-3273. The Bearded Plumber, 866-882-3273. One of the questions I'm often asked is, how do you do it? With my busy schedule of working for the Lightning, Magic, Buccaneers, and the home team, I need to be in very good health. One person I have to thank for keeping me in good health for years is Dr. Troy Stirk of Stirk Family Medicine. He's helped me keep my blood pressure in check, my heart running smoothly, and an overall healthy feeling that is confirmed by my lab results. If you're looking for a good family physician, I heartily recommend Dr. Troy Stirk at Stirk Family Medicine.
You can reach his office at 813-264-7922. That's 813-264-7922. I'll tell you, Dr. Stirk is fantastic, and I'm sure you'll feel the same way if you become one of his patients. So now that you know my secret to staying healthy with a busy schedule, it's your turn. Call Dr. Troy Stirk at Stirk Family Medicine, 813-264-7922. Happy 60th birthday, Cambridge Christian School. Hi, everyone. I'm Paul Porter, voice of the Lightning, here to tell you about the exciting growth happening here at CCS. Coming this fall is our state-of-the-art 45,000 square foot high school and STEM lab. For over 60 years, Cambridge Christian's award-winning academics, athletics, and the arts has been changing the way you think about Christian education. Visit us today at ccslancers.com.
This is the Tan Talk Radio Network.
Welcome back to the home team. Glad to have you with us. And let's go to the phones one last time today. Rob Belke, our soccer aficionado, is joining us. Rob, welcome back to the home team.
Hey, good morning, Paul. Good morning, everyone. Good to be back.
Good morning.
Quite a night coming up tonight in Tampa Bay with the Rowdies and the Sun playing at the same time on both sides of the bay.
Yeah, Soccer City, USA. Here we come.
There you go. That's for sure. Have you had a chance to check out the Tampa Bay Sun yet, Rob?
So I've done quite a bit of research. If I'm candid, there were a few jobs that were available, and I did have some interviews with them regarding their marketing and their public relations strategy. But, if you look at the league and you look at what the USL is trying to do, you can't be anything more than proud of what they've been able to put together in such a short time, for them to be able to garner level 1 status alongside the NWSL. So it's a direct competition. We have two, top level pro women's leagues, and we have the infancy of a new league here in Tampa, and one where a lot of people expect the Sun to be at the top of the league come the end of the year.
And, we were talking earlier, Jason and I, that it's becoming such a popular sport. It's starting to take off here in the U.S. It's worldwide been number one as far as sports are concerned. But more kids are playing soccer and more people are following it.
Yeah, absolutely. Obviously, the TV deals from the European leagues really, really helped. CBS is expanding this year. We're going to see a lot of Italian league games. I believe the first ever Serie A game on national television is going to be today with AC Milan playing. We have a prevalent U.S. men's national team player in Christian Pulisic playing for AC Milan. That sort of exposure across multiple networks. Obviously, we know NBC's investment in the Premier League and Fox's investment in the European Champions League and Europa League. You've got it on 3 out of the 4 major networks now. And then obviously, too, there was plenty of soccer over the summer that was in prime time with the Euro that was played, as well as the during the day, and then Copa America that was here in the States at night. Lots of folks were watching. I know some unfortunate things happened down in Miami with Copa America, but we digress and we move on.
And as far as the Rowdies, they've got an important game tonight as well.
Yeah, absolutely. I think coming off the loss the other night, they feel like they gave one away. The Rowdies obviously have a high level that they expect, and the midfield really didn't perform. So they're kind of looking to bounce back this evening, get themselves back into the win column, and keep pushing forward. I think they're third in the table right now. They don't like anything other than first.
Well, the question I have for you, Rob, is there room for both men's and women's soccer in the Tampa Bay area? Can they both have their fan support?
I think absolutely. I think especially given the fact that you do have the bridge as a divider, not necessarily deliberately, but, geographically, you're going to see a lot of Tampa come up to the Sun games, and you're going to see St. Pete continue to really show out for the Rowdies. And so for now, I think that there's definitely a plenty of a market for both. It'll be interesting to see if the USL Super League ever ends up changing its league schedule. They're going on a staggered schedule to the men's league. Obviously, the Rowdies are also in the USL, and a lot of these teams are partnered between a USL men's league team and a Super League team. I have old coworkers and friends that work in the industry that help launch things out in Spokane, and you have a brand new USL men's team and women's team in the same city and the same stadium, and they sold out for both home openers, and they've had high attendance for all of them. I know Spokane's a much more minor league market.
Okay.
But you would hope, given us being a
Well, Rob,
major league market, we could do it.
it's always great to have you on. We're out of time for today, but thank you so much. And we will continue to talk soccer with the Rowdies and with the Sun, and we appreciate you joining us.
Hey, thanks, guys. Come on, you Rowdies.
All right. We'll talk to you next Saturday. Jason and Marshall will talk to you next Saturday at 9 o'clock here on the Tan Talk Radio Network, AM 1340 and 1350, FM 106.1, 102.3, and Facebook
Live.